Hey everybody, we're going to try this a little bit different today because I really need to have a book that I can cut. So on this page, it's easiest if you just start with one of these sets of tangrams. They give you two. But for the first page, you only need to have one set. And now I am going to be doing this. Actually, I'll turn it so it's not upside down. So the goal with tangrams is that they're going to actually fit in this entire space. So when you put them down, they shouldn't go outside the lines. So it's hard at the beginning because you're not quite sure, except for spaces like this. So this would be that place where smart people start, because there's only one shape that can go into that space. So if I have those spaces, I usually start there. And then I always like to do these big ones first because you have to figure out where they can both fit. It's easy to find out where one of them fits, but it's not so easy to find out where the other one fits. So you have a few different options. You could maybe put it that way. You could probably put it not that way. Well, I think that's going to be it actually. So it's going to have to go there. So once you get those two, then you can start seeing the rest of it, which is kind of nice. So actually, I'll let you go from there. Now, on the bottom one, it says make this rectangle. So even on this one, if you make the bird, when you finish drawing the line, so really what that means is that you would just move these apart. These, of course, you don't have to draw in because they're already drawn in. But the idea is if you just spread them apart, you can hand draw. You don't have to do anything specific, but you can tell that these two shapes are going to fit into that space so that you could recreate it. I should probably put this line in too. And that doesn't have to be perfect. So I could even write in there pink, pink, green, green. Oops, I just realized I'm writing those actually upside down. It might be helpful then to put it back together, and then you know what fits in the last spaces over here and here are going to be the blues. Now on the bottom, make this rectangle, draw on the lines again. The hint is you don't need all of the pieces, so I'd always start out with so that one's not going to work though. So, and you can actually flip these over. You should be able to. In real tangrams, you can. Oops, I lost that. So I'm thinking that both of these pink ones probably aren't going to fit. So even if I do that, oh, there I could make it work actually. If I put them right there, and I could draw them in. All right, so that's the first page, 351. So when you turn the page, this is just continued. So when it says the tangram pieces, the original tangram pieces are those 7 pieces. So I'd still be going with just these ones that I originally cut out, that one set. Now, it's pretty specific with the rest of them. So these two you'll play. And now remember that today's kind of a tricky day because people who are visual end up getting these pretty quick. And if you're not, it could take a long time. So just know that a half hour is a reasonable amount of time to spend on this. And you might get through a bunch of them, you might not. But you're just really trying to puzzle piece these together so that no part hangs over. All right, so you go to the next page, 353. So this one too says use all 7 tangram pieces. So those are the pink, the green, and the blue. And this one says use any tangram pieces to cover this. So that's where you can go back and you could cut out these other shapes. So you have that second set of tangram pieces. You have these extra greens over here, and you also have these blues. Now, as you get later or further in the assignment, it starts to ask you for area. So the area, like if you're looking at this one, the area, remember, is always relating to these square units, so the perfect squares. Now, tangrams are kind of nice in that you can take these squares and start to figure out some things, like 2 of these greens would be 1 square unit. So these would actually be the same. So here you can start to even figure it out. If you have this blue one, how many of these greens? That one actually won't fit on there. So you would have, yeah, that one wouldn't fit. But this one, you should be able to, oh, this would actually be 1 square unit. No, it'd be bigger than 1 square unit, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't. That would actually be 1 square unit. So this pink would be 2 square units. So the blue is the 1 square unit. Same thing with this blue. That would be 1 square unit. These are halves. And then these pinks are 2s. So you could start to put it together and figure out how many actual square units. So even with this one, it says what is the area of the rectangle. These you could just draw in the blues until you can figure it out. You know, if I kept going, I could actually draw that line through, and I could draw that line through, so I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 square units. So really you just need the blues for this. Here too, any tangram pieces, you can cover it. So that one too is a little more puzzle-like. You can figure out what goes in there, and then these two aren't asking you the area. That one is, actually. So, all right, it should be a fun day. It's kind of a puzzle day. So good luck. Remember, if this is tough, even if you start on your own, you can always join us. We usually go about 45 minutes in Google Meet. So come on in.